Hey, Mike here with Reprint Equipment, and today's video we're going to jump into the Roland LEJ640FT, their true flatbed model. This machine was introduced in 2015, so I'm kind of late to the party, but I haven't found any good videos when it comes to this machine, and I wanted to make sure that you had a stronger understanding of this machine so you can kind of decide if this machine is a correct fit for your business. In the used market, I see these all over. I actually have 5 of them. This is the first time I've ever had so many, and I believe the reason most people that finance these machines, they're coming off of lease now. They did 6 and 7 year terms, and they're becoming more and more common on the used marketplace. So I wanted to make sure I did an in-depth video. Again, I'm going to have this machine printing behind me. It's printing a 4x8 sheet of max metal. It's in standard quality, which is pretty slow. I think this would probably be the slowest UV machine on the market, period. But there's lots of great perks as well. So if you watch this video to the end, I'm going to jump off here and quit talking because I don't think I have 30 minutes worth of conversation to put out there. I will keep it printing so you can see throughout the entire print run. It was 34 minutes from start to finish. Typically when we print chloroplast, we can use high speed mode, but this max metal, I wanted to make sure that we didn't have no banding, and I wanted to be able to sell the print afterwards. So I made sure that we printed it in standard mode. There's also artistic, there's special effects modes, which make this machine really, really slow. If you're looking to add special effects, or if you're looking to do a white underbase, we often do this on acrylic. This is a slow machine, but again, I'm going to show you why I personally would own this machine. I love this machine for what it is. I can kind of say it's a love-hate relationship. I love it, I hate it, and I'm going to show you why after this promo. All right, so first off, I'd like to get into what I like about this machine the most, and it's pretty simple. It's Roland. The printer on top, as you can see, this is pretty much a CNC router with a Roland printer on top, and if you was to compare this to any Roland model, it's most similar to an XC540. The same ink delivery system, same print heads, DX4 print heads, which are relatively inexpensive to replace. I think it's around $3,000 if you replace these print heads yourself, all 6 of them. They have the same cap top, same, pretty much everything in this machine is the same as an XC540. There's a few components that are different, like the head height system. It's automated, as well as the UV lamp system. So there are a few parts in this machine that are different than an XC540. But if you're someone that's used to Roland printers, this will be very familiar to you. So I like that the most. Oftentimes, there's many different companies that have offered to give me UV printers, and at first I did take them up on their offer. Unfortunately, most of these, wasn't cost effective to fix. They had, print heads that were $3,000 a piece. Their ink delivery system, lots of vacuum and pressures you had to get right, and lots of expensive components that this machine just does not have when it comes to the print portion of the machine. Also, the ease of use of the VersaWorks software. So if you're familiar with Roland, you'll appreciate that you use the same exact software. Another thing that I love about this machine is the ability to print up to 7 inches thick. I'm not very handy when it comes to woodworking, and I've sold many cornhole boards. It's very lucrative, and the ability to actually get pre-manufactured cornhole boards, put them on the machine, and actually print directly to their surface. That was a great feature for myself. 2 of the LEJs that I actually just picked up were from a company that's all they do is print cornhole boards. They did upgrade to faster machines, and they couldn't be happier. They had nothing but good to say about their new machines. However, these machines were their stepping stone to get them to where they are today. So there's lots of money you can make with these machines, and the ability to print thick items. I've printed doors, I've printed a guitar case. There's lots of different things that I've printed with this machine. I've printed tabletops for restaurants, many different things that I've printed that most printers aren't capable of. The alignment system is fairly simple. It does have a pin registration system where you can put some pins in the machine and actually butt it up and make sure that you have your panels flush before printing. I love that feature. Another thing that I would say would be a key point for this machine is its ease of moving. It's pretty simple to disassemble the printer portion, set it sideways on the machine, and get it out of its current location. You know, oftentimes picking up these printers, the customer may not have a loading dock or a forklift, and to solve that, we pretty much have a tow truck come out, a flatbed tow truck. They put it, you know, they load it up. They can easily attach their winch to the bottom. They pull it up to the flatbed, then back right up to the Penske truck, and it goes right inside. So I like how easy it is to move this machine. All right, now before I jump into the problems that I see with this machine, I'd like to welcome you to please like and subscribe to this channel. If this is a machine that you're interested in or have on your watch list, there's not many videos when it comes to the LEJ. And my wife, I've tried to get her to share my passion for a long time and get involved with my business. This machine made that possible. I mean, she's making side income on Etsy and social media, making various different types of items, you know, on wood, on glass, acrylic. There's so much stuff she's doing. We're going to put lots of great videos on this machine, so please make sure you like and subscribe. All right, so now for the things I do not like about this machine, and please note some of the stuff would be a lot easier if I had created jigs for certain products, but one thing that I don't like is the loading process on little small runs. I just did a few little custom one-off wooden plaques. It takes me about 5 or 6 minutes just to get the machine set up, and when using expired ink, the ink that I have is expired, and it makes the machine do cleanings every time it prints. Before it prints, it'll start cleaning. I hate that feature. I wish there was a way to turn it off, but I have not found a way to successfully turn that feature off. Also, when it comes to support, when it comes to the print mechanism, you can find help in many different Facebook groups, which I'll actually include a link to my Roland Facebook group. Also many different forums, but when it comes to the table mechanics, this is something that you're gonna have to seek help in CNC router forums. This is where I've gained the most knowledge on this machine. And when it comes to parts, Roland's markup is ridiculously high. There was a component that I had to replace. It was the motion controller box, the brain behind the system. This box was $6,500 through Roland. It was only $3,000 through Multicam, but it had to be programmed by Roland. So there was no choice but to actually spend that $6,500. Fortunately, there's a guy on eBay that actually repairs these boxes, and he was able to repair it. It didn't need programmed and saved me a lot of money. I think it was like $450, and he repaired that module. The motors, these are all pretty common motors, can be found used for multicam machines, although Roland's price is like double of what multicam would charge. So I definitely recommend contacting Multicam. I'm not sure if Multicam was ever made a secret by Roland. I mean, it's pretty apparent by the handheld remote. You can tell who made the machine. There is not one Multicam marking on the outside of the machine. However, various boards and parts do state Multicam. So if you want to save some money, make sure you check Multicam's prices first. Other problems that I see are the UV lights. They are very expensive. I've never seen one bad in all the machines that I've had. They do have a long lifespan, but when you do have to replace one, they are going to be very expensive. That's something to watch for if you're looking to buy a used machine. The first question you should ask is, how are the UV lamps? That's very important. That's probably the scariest part I can say when it comes to these machines. The vacuum system, that would be another concern of mine, but it's very common if you're looking to buy a UV printer. Every UV printer has a expensive vacuum pump. Most of the time these can be fixed, but they are very expensive. If you look through any of the Roland forums, I'll say Signs 101 in general, there's two bad posts about the LEJ. There's two people in particular. One lady from Oregon, and I actually picked up her machine last year. She had nothing but problems, and one of the main reasons was she purchased it from a national dealer. I think it was Stalls or a company like that serve nationally but do not have a local service center, and she played hell getting support. She was in the middle of nowhere, and that was a problem. She paid $100,000 for a machine, and she stated she absolutely hated it. She had nothing but problems, and one of the problems was the blower motor. When we picked up the machine, we actually took her old blower motor as well. She told us we could take it, and it was actually a $4 part that actually fixed that motor. It was a switch, and I found the problem through a CNC forum. Unfortunately, she wasn't very technical, and she paid $6,000 to replace this motor. That was one of her biggest problems. She stressed. I received the machine. I resold it to a guy in Texas. I've been in constant communication. We communicate often, and he absolutely loves the machine. So her opinion on the machine and his are totally different, but he paid a third of what she did, so I definitely understand. The next machine is a guy in Massachusetts that actually went to a local Roland dealership and actually test drove the machine. He ordered the machine. He lost lots of money in sales because the machine didn't perform the way he wanted. I do know he did have a problem with dust. He ran CNC routers. That was his initial problem. But again, I picked that machine up. It was actually a pretty nice machine. I put a few new heads in it because it had been neglected, and I sold that machine to a good buddy of mine that actually sells restaurant equipment. I figured it'd be a good fit. He stated that he had lots of customers that needed signage, buying used restaurant equipment, and he had lots of requests for signage. And this machine, he's able to put a piece of material on there and it print directly. He's not in the sign industry, so he doesn't have much experience when it comes to laying vinyl, so he loves the machine. He speaks highly of it. I talk to him again on a regular basis. He loves the machine, but again, he paid a third of what the guy in Massachusetts did, so I could definitely understand that they could have different opinions. Now, had they paid $100,000, they might not be as happy, and the main reason is the speed. It's slow. You see it in the background. It is a slow machine, the slowest UV printer that I have ever seen. I've had many Mamakis, HPs, Rastec, EFI. I've had many, and this is definitely the slowest machine that I have seen, period. And that, without a doubt, is the thing that I hate about this machine. It's fun. It's brought my family together. My family's involved, making stuff with this machine, which I can appreciate. As I get older, I realize time is my most valuable asset, and having a machine that my family expresses interest in. They're always in the shop. We're always having a great time with this machine. And the problems that I've had has mostly been user error, not setting things up properly. There's oftentimes, I'll try to run multiple coroplast signs, and the edges of the coroplast, they kind of overlap each other. So I have had registration problems when it comes to printing multiple coroplast signs. So it is recommended to use a solid sheet when printing. Other issues that we've had has been on, wood, where we've been able to easily sand it and reprint it. One time I had a problem with Max Metal, and the solution for that was to take some rubbing alcohol. I sprayed it on the print, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then I was able to wipe it off there and clean the panel off. So there hasn't been any waste. There has been instances where one motor would lock up or it would lose position, but it's very rare. For the most part, we have printing going on all day without issue, unless, again, it's been user-based. So with all that being said, hopefully this will give you a better understanding of this machine. You can contact me with any types of questions if you own this machine or you're trying to transport one of these machines. This is something I am very familiar with. We've moved over a dozen of these machines, and currently I have many of these machines in stock, even parts machines. So if you're looking for any type of parts, we have these machines turnkey, ready to go. I've got 2 of them in the shop right now that's ready to go. You can come inspect and demo at any time. We'd gladly sell you one. We also have machines that we haven't had a chance to hook up, unfortunately, due to space restraints and the lack of 220. We have 2 machines running our only 220 volt power supplies. So we do have machines that we will sell you as is in their current condition. We can test various things if you do want to know if the lights work, or if you want to know if the vacuum works, or the table mechanics. Typically, it's usually the heads that need replaced. So if you're looking, for a rebuilder machine, we have them as well. Thank you for watching, and any questions or comments, you can leave them below. You can also visit our website, reprint-equipment.com. I'll also put the link for that as well. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.